Hi friends, Control is back as an LTM in the Awakening Collection event, and it's great to see. There are some changes and improvements though, and I'm going to share them in this video. So the core rules of Control are more or less the same as they were. You got 2 teams of 9 facing off against each other with unlimited respawns, and your goal is to earn the most points through controlling the zones. But there are a bunch of new features, as I mentioned, which will slightly change and improve the way Control works. Obviously we've got a new control map which takes Lava Siphon from World's Edge, and this will be added to the rotation with Olympus and Stormpoint. You might notice ad drones are new to Control. You can spot them flying around. Now they're more just there for flavour and storytelling purposes, as the devs said, but you can shoot them just for fun. I would say the biggest addition to Control is the matchmaking, because they now fill empty slots in open games with new players if players previously left that game, and this should help with those situations where you have teammates that just leave the game and then your team becomes massively imbalanced. Another good change to go with this are the decreases to spawn wave times. The max death screen time has been reduced from 20 seconds down to 15 seconds. The spawn wave max time has been reduced from 12 seconds to 10 seconds, and the first wave spawn max time has been reduced from 20 seconds to 15 seconds. And all of this essentially reduces the amount of waiting time you have in Control, and it just means you can jump back into the action a lot faster. And I think this is a really great way to make Control faster and freer flowing. Another good change to Control is that you can keep your ultimate if you die. Previously you'll remember if you earned your ultimate but then died, you would lose your ultimate, but this time you do keep it when you respawn as long as you had your ultimate before you die, and it does mean you can be a little bit more strategic with the way you use your ultimate in Control. The ratings for spawning on your own base have also been reduced, which you might notice, because instead of getting 75% to the next tier, you now only get 50%. They've also turned off the enemy highlights and the vehicle highlights, and this is good because before they were just kind of like wall hacks and really unnecessary and kind of annoying. Capturing points has also been tweaked slightly. You're now forced to drain neutral enemy point capture progress before starting to gain capture progress for your own team. Obviously this only applies if an enemy team had tried to capture a neutral point but then you stopped them. You do get increased capture speeds by having more players on the capture point though, so the more players you've got on the point the faster you can capture it, and this starts from ×1 if you've just got one person on it, all the way up to ×3 the speed if you've got up to 9 people. So clearly the more people you've got on the point, the faster you can capture that point, and hopefully this should give a bit more incentive for people to play the points rather than just chase kills, although I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. You still get loads of kill hungry people playing this game mode. You'll also notice the loadouts have been tweaked slightly. They merged the marksman and sniper loadouts into a single long range loadout, and they've added a specialist loadout category to give players more close range and medium range options. You might notice there's some updates to the spawning logic as well, because previously in Control there were so many situations where you'd just be spawned right next to an enemy. It does still happen to me during the Awakening Collection event after these updates, but it's definitely not as bad as it was before. Oh yeah, and the turbocharger is also back to being purple on the Havoc, so if you see a purple Havoc, or indeed you're loading in with a Havoc, you might want to keep that in mind. Now I would say those are kind of the main changes that you need to know about in Control. There are a few other smaller changes, such as being able to put a 3x scope on the assault rifles and LMGs, but I'll put a link to the patch notes if you want to read about those other things. Anyway, I hope this gives you a good idea of what's new in Control. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you later.